YouTube, what's going on, you guys? It's Spencer the Barber. Today we're gonna be talking about my top 10 must-have barbering tools. So let's not waste any more time, let's get right into it. So the first thing that's on my list is obviously gotta be the clipper. Now, my clipper of choice personally is the Ergos from Stylecraft. I just love this clipper, you guys. At first I kind of had to get used to it because it is a little bit different than most clippers, but once you get used to it and you get used to that flicking motion, it is such a good clipper. This is actually the first clipper that I've used that has had a taper blade on it. So for me, at least, using the taper blade, it's really good for like setting in guidelines and stuff. I'm at the point where I do want to have a fade blade as well as a taper blade. Taper blades for me though, I'm able to get everything done. I love them. For me personally, I just think they're great. Highly recommend the X Ergos or any Ergos for that matter from Stylecraft. Go ahead and get you guys some because they are the best. So number 2 on my list, obviously we gotta go with the trimmers. I pull up 2 trimmers for 2 reasons. My first trimmer obviously has got to be the nice, sharp, clean lineups. The one that I use is I use the Flex from Stylecraft, but what I did is I took the blade off and I swapped it with the X Pro blade. When it comes to lineups and stuff, this has a smaller blade on it. It is a lot easier to not hit their eyebrows or anything if you have a smaller blade. For me personally, I've also noticed it is a game changer when it comes to doing designs. It's so much easier to get into corners and stuff when it comes to having a good blade that's small rather than a super long blade. My second trimmer, however, I'm just using the TPOBs. I think they're a great like kids trimmer, or if you're doing any kind of like neck work, you just want something that's not as sharp so that way it's not gonna run the risk of cutting somebody. Just get 2 pairs of trimmers. Get one that's gonna be a nice hitter, and then get one that's also gonna be a good debulker. I know I might have some people disagree with me, but number 3 on my list is a good single foil shaver. Now, obviously every tool has its time and place when it comes to cutting hair. The single foils though, for me, anytime I'm getting in like hard to reach spots like mustaches or around the ear or on the neck lineup, it is so much easier to be precise when you just have the one blade rather than having multiple blades. Even when it comes to the little things like charging time, I kid you not, guys, it's literally been close to 6 months and I haven't ran out of charge on this guy one single time so far. I think it's a great investment. Again, I'm using the shaver from Stylecraft Gamma. If I could only have one, hands down, I'm taking a single foil over a double head foil any day. Yes, it doesn't get the job done as quick, but it's so much softer too from what I've noticed. Sometimes if you're doing a taper with a double foil shaver, it gets really damn close to the skin. So if you're not able to knock lines out as easily, definitely go with something like this too. It'll be a softer shaver and you get the job done just as good. Might not be as fast, but definitely more precise. So coming up at number 4, good quality shears, you guys. So many people are skipping out on investing in their shears. If you want to give your entire haircut a softer look, it starts with these guys. Personally, I use Mizutanis. Now, I know that they are not in everybody's budget. However, for me, it was definitely worth the investment. I just use a 5.7 blade. I feel like it kind of gives me enough room to still do like shear over comb work, but definitely really comfortable for me to still do like precision work or anything where I'm changing the angle of where I need to cut. I noticed that it's super easy for me to point cut. Now, if you guys get swivel shears, those are great. It took me a little while to kind of get used to them, so I kind of went back to the traditional style of shear. But when I was looking for a new type of shear, definitely look for ones that are ergonomic at the thumb, just so that way it's easier for you guys to kind of grip it in multiple different ways. Just play around with your shears, make sure that they're comfortable for you, but also a good quality pair of texturizing shears. These are great for shear over comb, softening up edges, taking out bulk, and just adding a little bit more texture sometimes to hair. I would say if you could only get one, invest into your shear and spend a little bit less money on the texturizing shear for sure. Number 5 on the list for me, good quality combs and clips. So if I could only tell you guys to get 3 different combs, 100% hands down, these are them. These are the holy trinity of combs right here. Let's start out with this guy. All of these are YS Park. I really like the YS Park barbering comb. It's a super good comb for clipper over comb because it's not like super bendy, but it gives you enough flexibility to still kind of get in those hard to reach spots. And it's just really good for creating like a solid edge. I personally don't really like combs that are more on the flimsy side. So I just wanted to get something that was gonna give me a nice solid feeling. And I've heard many good things about YS Park, so I just decided to go with the YS Park barbering comb. So that's the first comb. Second comb, get a nice wide tooth and fine tooth type of comb. It's super good for sectioning hair. I think this is honestly probably like my go-to comb for most situations, because I can still kind of get into tight spots and still do shear over comb. It's super easy to part when you have a little notch right in here. It's way easier to get like clean sections and stuff like that. Third comb, it's similar, but it's a little bit smaller and finer tooth. So these are all YS Park combs. This comb for me is just a good everyday type of comb. It's really good for giving you more control. The other comb that I was showing you guys doesn't have the same length, so it's a little bit shorter. So if I'm really looking for like control precision cutting, I'm going with this comb. But if I'm having a harder time sectioning with thicker hair or different like texture, I'd probably be using this guy 9 times out of 10. And if I'm creating more shape, or if I'm trying to establish a weight line or anything in the haircut, definitely going with the big old barbering comb. So coming up at number 7, this was definitely a tool that I neglected in the first portion of my career as well as in school, which I wish I paid more attention to in school, because this is definitely one of my favorite tools now. And it is a feather razor. I don't know how many of you guys are using this in your daily arsenal. There's so many times where I'm pulling this guy out to soften up lines or cutting more texture in somebody's hair. Like I get a lot of people that want like a modern mullet, and they're looking for a lot of like texture in their hair, and most of the time it's pretty damn straight hair. Really getting good with a feather razor is gonna be great for establishing texture in haircuts, especially for all the people that are doing the crop cuts in the front. I love using a feather razor in the front hairline just because it gives it a softer look. For me at least, it looks a little bit more lived in. It doesn't look like too harsh. Obviously there's a time and place for everything, and if somebody wants a harsh line, a little bit different, but if you're going more for a softer look, I love using the feather razor. It's just such a good tool that I feel like is very underutilized in the industry. I know plenty of people that use it, but if you guys aren't using it, get familiar with your feather razor. So coming up at number 8 is a good spray bottle. I use the one from Mizutani. It's just got a super nice, like soft spray. I'll try and show you guys. Oh gosh. I'm just gonna grab a towel so that way it's not like dripping water everywhere. This isn't really the most perfect way to demonstrate this, but it's just got a nice smooth feeling, I guess you could say. Anytime that I can invest into something that's gonna make my life easier, I'm definitely gonna do it. So coming up at number 9, styling products. I just have a couple of styling products in my bag for on the go. My product of choice for just easy product in my bag, they have great travel sizes, is gonna be Statement. So Statement actually does a really fantastic job with some of the stuff that they do. When I'm in the shop, typically I am styling everybody's haircut. Styling makes up a huge portion of the haircut, whether people realize it or not. So I think personally, a huge difference in somebody's haircut as they're walking out of the shop is with the styling. The styling is 100% what you see on Instagram, what you see on TikTok. When people show you a reference photo, 99% of the time, that picture is styled using product. Get yourself at least a little bit more educated behind a product. Just eliminate the guesswork. Anytime that you can eliminate the guesswork and make it easier to know exactly what to use is gonna be way better for that person's hair. Get familiar with styling. All right, you guys, number 10 is a good smelling aftershave. Aftershave is one of those things in the barbering industry. It's almost like going to a bakery and smelling that scent, like that fresh baked cookie, or having the fresh pies just hit you in the face. Very similar with aftershave. Going to a barbershop, you get that distinct smell of being in the barbershop. Everybody that I've used this product on, this is Mason's aftershave. It is a little spendy, but it's totally worth the investment. Everybody that I've used this aftershave on, first of all, has told me that it doesn't burn as much, which I feel like is a good thing. And second off, they get it confused with a cologne half of the time. It just smells so good and it gives them like a fresher feeling after their haircut. So if you guys aren't utilizing a good aftershave, you just want to give somebody the best experience as possible. And so just making them feel good, smell good, look fresh, that's how you're gonna get returning clients, you guys. So I know I didn't go over every single tool. I know I didn't go too much into a review or anything along those lines. I just wanted to hop on here and get my first actual YouTube video out there so that way people can get a little bit more familiar with this type of content. In the future, the type of content that I want to do, I want to start getting more into the tutorials, education side of things when it comes to barbering, editing, photography, all these different type of things that have helped my career grow. Want to get more into the unboxings, the reviews, any type of content that can help you guys out there. So if there's anything specific on your guys' mind that you would like to see from this channel, please let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and stay tuned till next time. Peace, guys.